Hello YouTubers, Geek Machine here. Well, it's the end of another year, but before we do, I have a few things I would like to say. First off, it has now been over 6 years since I started on YouTube, and I have amassed 583 subscribers. Here's hoping I might reach 600 next year. And I managed to reach the 100 video mark on my YouTube channel with the Valley Railway series. I'm now sitting at 115 including this video. And wow, what a year 2015 has been. It is crazy. It's been crazy. It's had its ups and downs, but for me, I pretty much like to focus on the ups. So, just trying to think about this. So, here are some updates before we go into that little realm. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have been wondering since the last video I posted, did I get onto America's Got Talent? Well, I won't know yet until maybe sometime next month, or maybe as late as February, but here's hoping. But even if I don't get on, you still might be able to catch me. I'm in a blue Cookie Monster shirt, and I'm jamming with some guys playing on ukuleles. I gotta say, that was a really, really fun time doing that. It was a little unnerving, also a little tiresome because I got shuffled around a lot. For some scenes that'll be posted on, that'll come on the television show. But I made some friends. I made some friends with a quartet of ukulele players and a couple of old men that were doing blues, and all 7 of us got into a jam session. It was pretty cool. And of course, I didn't really sing all that much. I just kind of kept to a beat with a snap, and it was still really fun. I loved it, and I really wish I had taken pictures of that. I only managed to take a couple snapshots, but I wish I'd taken pictures of those guys. I don't know what I was thinking. Probably was too caught up in the moment. So as far as that, the other update is my videos. I have a lot of videos planned. Unfortunately, some of them I didn't get finished in time. I've been too busy lately. 2 jobs, man. And now that the holiday season has just finally started to calm down, holy cow. It was really a hair-raising time. But here's what I got planned video-wise for hopefully in the next year. The VRS Q&A video. I'm sorry I haven't gotten those questions answered yet, but I got some of the questions answered from Nanaki, and I just still need to answer some of them. There's also, I wanted to get this done before the year was out, and this one has really been a long one for me, and it is a collaborative review of The Adventure Begins, from the 70th anniversary commemorative special of Thomas and Friends. I did it with DM Man, Evan, Henry the Green, Cyrno, Lady to Pikachu, and Metamorphical, all from Soda Island forums. And guys, if you are watching this, again, I apologize profusely for not getting that up sooner. I'm really sorry. Life has been kind of kicking me in the keister lately, putting it nicely. But that's one of the videos I got planned there. Other videos, I've got for some of you who have seen Dr. Scorpion X on YouTube, he's known for doing bioformers, basically taking the Lego Bionicle toys and Hero Factory and turning them into Transformers. If not, check him out. Link is in the description. I've got a special little video I will be making. It's going to be kind of a 2-part of sorts, of my own bioformer, and it's my first bioformer combiner. I hope you guys like it, for those of you who are Bionicle heads. I've got some more impression videos coming up, mostly Thomas and Simpsons related, and maybe a few other things. I unfortunately was not able to do my Merry Crashmas video this year. If you remember last year, I did a video called Merry Crashmas 2014, and it featured a bulk of crash scenes of Gordon, to the tune of the Nutcracker suite the Russian dance from the Nutcracker. I planned to do that. I wanted it to be for this year, but I ran out of time and I was too caught up in a lot of other things. So expect to see maybe 2 for next year to make up for this one. Also, as I said in my redub video of Percy's Ghostly Trick, expect to see more redubbed vids from my spooktacular project that was canceled from 2014. Also, I've been planning this one for a while, is a parody video of an Sesame Street audio story that I love listening to. It's called The Magic Cookie. Look it up if you can. It's funny. It's for those of you who are adult and think it's stupid. I find it funny because I grew up with that. I grew up listening to that on the audio cassette, and I'll be doing it with Thomas and Friends visuals. I've got a couple of parody videos planned on it, but that's my top one right there. Also, another planned video that I have is my book reading show. I don't know if I've ever said this. You probably may have heard it in my Q&A video that I made earlier this year, but I have been doing a book reading show in my town. It's for our local broadcasting station, and they've started a website, started posting videos, but the problem is they only post the newer episodes. They don't have like an archive or anything, so expect to see this show I've been doing for 5 years to come up on YouTube pretty soon. It is called Story Time with Joel Hunter. It's a good little show. You might find it a little bit meh or maybe cringe-worthy, but I like it, and I just finished doing 5 years of over 100 episodes, and it's still going strong. I've got plans for at least another 5 more. Next year in particular for that, it's actually going to be a little interesting because I've got a special episode cooked up for the 2016 election. So be sure to keep an eye out for that or something. Yeah, that's pretty much what I've got planned there. And so, let's look at some of the highlights for 2015 on my end. I finally got the Valley Railway series videos that I had planned for 5 years completed. I finally did it. I finally got those done. Auditioning for America's Got Talent, that was a big one for me, and I've had a lot of people tell me that it's really gutsy of me to do something like that, and it really was a lot on my part as well, and I hope I made a good enough impression. Again, fingers crossed. And I don't know if any of you ever noticed, but I made an appearance in the Thomas Creator Collective's first series, Secrets of the Stolen Crown. Don't believe me? Look up the compilation video of Secrets of the Stolen Crown. Also, like I stated earlier, I completed my 5th year of my book reading show. And the latest book I read on there is actually a new one. It's by LeVar Burton, The Rhino Who Swallowed a Storm. For those of you who haven't heard of it, look it up. It's a good little book. It's about overcoming grief in times of tragedy. And how you're not alone in it. It's a really good story. And I managed to send a copy of that episode to LeVar Burton. I hope he got it. And for those of you who don't know who LeVar Burton is, he's well known for Roots as Kunta Kinte, Star Trek as I keep forgetting his name. Geordie LaForge. I'm sorry if I infuriate all you Star Trekkies out there, but I can't remember his name. But he's on that show, Star Trek: The Next Generation, and he's also well known for reading Rainbow. And I got that book, The Rhino Who Swallowed a Storm, as part of a thank you for me helping his Kickstarter campaign to bring Reading Rainbow back. And it went well. I really liked it. I also got a few other things as well. Shirts, some fridge magnets, and some subscriptions to other stuff. I haven't activated those yet. But, Also, another thing that was a highlight for me this year was me possibly starting my own window painting business. That's another big one. Over the end of summer, beginning of fall, I started doing some window painting in my town for our local homecoming event. And I did pretty well considering. You might catch some of those pictures of it on my DeviantArt account or maybe on Facebook. I still need to post those up. So keep an eye open for them. And let's see. One of the things I would like to talk about is some of the movies that came out this year. My favorites for it were, starting on the low one, I just recently saw The Good Dinosaur by Pixar. It was alright, it was good, it had a good concept, but, I didn't generally like how humans were portrayed in it. It was still good and all that, but, it was alright. The next was Ricky and the Flash. For those of you who don't know what that movie is, it is a movie by Meryl Streep. It has her daughter, and Kevin Kline, and Sebastian Stan in it as well. The movie, I have to be honest, I never heard about this movie until I went to California a little while ago to catch my cousin's wedding reception. And by the way, my cousin is Ariana Cooper, or Ariana Wibbly now, because she is now married to Sum 41's Derek Wibley. That's right, she married him. They've been together for quite a while. She's a model in L.A. and Hollywood. I think she's in California. I believe she's in L.A. She's a model. She's done pretty well considering. And I gotta say, when I saw her in her wedding dress, she looked more beautiful than ever. I mean, even without her makeup, she's beautiful. Really, really beautiful. And the wedding dress just blew it for me. Anyways, back to Ricky and the Flash. The movie is about Meryl Streep playing this woman who calls herself Ricky, and she has her little gig, and she's separated from her family, but then she finds out that her daughter, her daughter, got a divorce, and she's going back to try and help her get out of this slump. And of course, she's encountering a few other things as well. And the movie, it's a little racy in some scenes, but it's a really good comedy movie with a really good message about you can overcome your problems. Just keep going forward. Don't let that hold you down. The other one is, my next favorite movie was Pixar's Inside Out. That was a really good one. They did really well. My family always kept saying, "Oh no, it's a knockoff of the show Herman's Head." And just so some of you know what it is, Herman's Head is an old show that was made in the 90s, early 90s, and it featured a guy with 4 personalities in his head who tried to guide him through life. But of course, he always ends up sometimes making the wrong decisions. same as with Inside Out, where we're dealing with the emotions. And when I said it looks this, I even said it has a similar concept, but it's different. And when they finally saw it, they're like, "Oh, you're right." But anyway, it was a good little movie about that, and of course, very, very typical Pixar-ish. And there were some scenes that really kind of made you feel emotional, and it didn't end the way I thought it would. I was really expecting that what to happen would be for those of you who haven't seen it, you might want to turn away right now, or plug your ears or something, because I might spoil it. The movie ended with Riley going back to her family, and Sadness finally getting back, and getting back into headquarters after she and Joy were accidentally booted out, and and they finally figure out what Sadness's purpose is, and Riley goes back to her family and then starts adapting better to her life in San Francisco. How I thought it was going to end was after everything has gone down and Riley has finally settled in, she gets hit with a bombshell. You're going to have a little baby sibling. And inside we zoom into all the emotions. And it ends right there, leading for a possible potential sequel. I still think that could be a potential if Pixar were to ever do that. How would the emotions react to there being a new sibling on the scene? So that's still something they could consider for a sequel to Inside Out. Who knows, it might happen. But here are back to the movie thing, my favorite movies of the year. This movie, I think, the next two, of course, I really like because it's Thomas and Friends. Because this year marks 7 years. The Adventure Begins. Holy cow! They made a really good adaptation of it. Of course, there were some missed opportunities, but hey, they did really well considering. Same with Sodor's Legend of the Lost Treasure. They got really gutsy in that one. And I mean, but the one thing to me is it felt a little rushed. Sodor's Legend of the Lost Treasure. There were some things that could have used a little more explaining and such, but I'll probably get into a little more detail on that later on. But it was still really good. They did really good, and I can't wait to see what next year has in store for them. And now, for my top pick for one of the best movies for 2015. And this one I am a very avid fan of, and it's Peanuts. The Peanuts movie. I really had some high expectations for it, and other expectations like, it's going to be like the recent specials, which, by the way, they haven't made any in a while, and I just realized that. But, I was expecting it to be kind of like they would try too hard to make, the Peanuts movie. Like some of the other specials that I've seen where they're just trying too hard, but that wasn't the case. It was actually very decent. They really tried hard to keep it to the original source that Charles Schulz had created 65 years ago, and this year marks 65 years for them, so they really did well with that, considering that. And the reason why I say, well, they did well considering is because they have modern day songs in it and music and such. That's the kind of thing that's my only gripe about the movie. But really, Blue Sky Studio, they made a movie worth owning. And the second that comes out on DVD, you can bet your boots that I am going to get my hands on a copy of it, because it was that good. They really, really did well, considering. So yeah, those are my top picks for movies this year, and other little things, updates and such for my YouTube channel. But now, and other little things that are happening in life. But now, here's things I'm looking forward to for next year. And the big one for me is possibly being on America's Got Talent. Again, I cannot say that enough. I'm really, really hoping that I can get on there. I really hope they do, but then there's that other hurdle I have to go through, and that's Simon Cowell. Personally, he scares me. But, yeah, here's hoping that I can get on there soon, and if I find out something about it, I'll make sure you guys know about it soon. Next thing to look forward to, even if America's Got Talent doesn't go through with me, there's still a possibility of me actually leaving the United States for a while. That's because I have a plan B of going to Canada to spend some time with my aunt that I haven't seen in a while. So yeah, it would be my first time being outside of the USA. And the others, these are, and now we're getting into other things that I'm looking forward to, media film-wise, is the Deadpool movie, which, by the way, comes out on my birthday next year. It's like the planets and stars had aligned and heaven was shining down on me. I can't wait for it. I really can't wait for that movie. I know it's going to be really bad and everything, but I love Deadpool. He's hilarious. He's funny. Aside from all the innuendos and such, but he's funny, yeah. The other is Bionicle from Lego. They've had a really good start off for this year, but next year is actually looking really good. Why? Because they're finally getting a series. They're finally getting an online video series, which I think is something that Lego had missed out from the beginning when they started Bionicle. It was really it really needed a series, and it's coming on Netflix next February from what I just found out. It is entitled Bionicle Journey to One. Look it up. And I'm really looking forward to the new sets that are coming out next year. It's looking really good, and it to me, as a Bionicle fan as well, and I can show you right over here, that little tower there, the dresser, that white tower there, and that black box, and as well as a few other little sets over here. I just purchased it's too blurry for you to see anyway, but I just purchased some of the new sets that came out during the summer fall wave. Skull Grinder versus Mask Maker, and Skull Warrior and Skull Basher. I finally got those, along with some of the other Toa. I managed to get all 6 Toa and all 6 Protector for this year. So yeah, that's another thing to look forward to. And the other, of course, is Thomas and Friends. This next year is looking to be another big one for them, because they're hitting season 20, and we are going to see Trevor and Daisy, along with Donald and Douglas, making a full return. Of course, Sorter's Legend of the Lost Treasure saw to Daisy, Donald, and Douglas getting a return, but we're going to be seeing them in full return this time. And getting more spotlight, and possibly more of the Arsdale Railway engines. That's one of the things that really got me hyperventilated when I first found out about Sorter's Legend of the Lost Treasure. But aside from season 20 is the next special, which is currently entitled The Great Race. We're going to be getting 12 new characters in that. That is a big one right there. And now, here's something that I have just stumbled upon on that, and I'm going to be very brief about it, I know ever since it was announced, one of the things that a lot of people have been kind of thinking that it shares similarities to, or maybe a possible ripoff of Disney's and Pixar's Planes. The Planes movies. And I wouldn't blame you. It is similar. But, now here's the big but. Consider this. Maybe it is something else. Maybe it is alluding to something else. Maybe it's nodding to something else. Or maybe it be based on something else. Try this on for size. Starlight Express. That's right. The Great Race may be a nod to the Starlight Express. And for these reasons. 1. It is both racing themed. 2. They're having international engines in there. And 3. Musical. So far it has been announced that there are going to be 4 new songs in this movie, and one of those songs was stated by Joe Mills, the guy who voices Oliver, Donald, Douglas, and Toad, that he just finished singing a song for that movie in 4 different accents, which leads me to think he might be voicing another character. Because if you really think about it, there's Oliver, then there's Toad, and then Donald and Douglas. That's 3 accents right there. So what would the 4th be? Anyway, the other little similarities for me thinking this is because originally Andrew Lloyd Webber wanted Starlight Express to be based on Thomas and Friends, but the Reverend wouldn't let him. And I can see for certain reasons why, because for me, given all the other stage productions I've seen of Thomas lately, I don't think Thomas really belongs on a stage like that. But, there's that, and so Starlight Express was inspired by Thomas and Friends, and the other thing, and because Andrew Lloyd Webber loved Thomas, here's another little thing. He named his group based on something from Thomas and Friends, which is called the Really Useful Theater Group, or Theater Company, I can't remember, but the term Really Useful is in there. That's showing he actually likes Thomas. And he even stated it himself. Or from what I've read recently, I can't remember which, but that. So that's that right there. What I was trying to say for the Great Race. Here's hoping that it actually does well. And it seems interesting because it might be a musical. It might be the first actual Thomas and Friends musical. Well, that's about it for this video. I could divulge into a whole bunch of other stuff, but really that's what I have written down for now. And again, I thank you guys for being with me on this channel for the past 6 years, and here is to the 7th year and to 2016. Happy New Year's, everybody. I'll see you then.